I'll reserve judgment. I will be fair, and I'll see it for myself. We'll see what's going down. Right. But now I want to kick it over to just Johnny.
You?
Because, my man, you got to check out the Fig Talks. Friends of the show, the Boston Festival Indie Games, were cool enough to invite us out to scope out their exhibition. Dude, what's going on?
Yeah, so I made a return. It's at a different venue than last year. So last year, I believe it was at a Microsoft building. I think it was like their Nerd Center or something like that. Yeah. This year, it's at an MIT Strata Center or something like that. Strata. It might be Stata. I don't know. Something like that. It's some nice building, part of the MIT campus.
This year it was in a building.
There's so many. I mean, MIT campus is massive, and I'm not very familiar with the MIT campus.
Yeah, it does like a labyrinth.
Yeah, and inside the buildings,
you make a left turn, there's Chipotle. You make a right turn, there's a Minotaur.
Yeah, they have like weird stairs that are above your head that are like curvy, swirly, and they kind of seem like they lead to nowhere. So it's like very weird, fancy architecture inside the building as well as outside.
It's MIT. They built an indoor Stargate. That's why it just takes you to across the other side.
Yeah. I was getting those vibes.
I've been there a couple of times.
So it was designed by MCS.
Yeah. So the festival, it's a 1 day long from, I believe it was 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning all the way until 5 at night. Sort of like a game developer convention for people in the greater Boston area where they all get together. Cool thing, they serve them, a fairly basic, pastry and coffee, a simple breakfast, but then they go pretty all out on the lunch where they have like all sorts of different sandwiches and drinks available for everyone, all the attendees, whether you're a speaker or not. You have lunch and you sort of intermingle. It
was social. It sounds like it was an actual luncheon versus what I immediately imagined was like that tapioca paste from the Matrix. It's like they all tapioca. Yeah, they sit there. Everyone gets a sardine can with
everything the body needs.
Yeah, they got a good catering, just like last year. And it's meant to have the people that are attending and the developers and the speakers sort of get them to sort of sit around and eat and talk to each other instead of the majority of this convention thing. Where it's you attend a speaker talk, and it's basically one or two or small handful of people that are doing some sort of chat about something that they are a SME of, subject matter expert.
Is that a proper term, or did you just make that up?
No, that's a proper term, SME, SME.
All right, I'm gonna Google it. I'll call you out.
They're SME of. So yeah, they have a bunch of SMEs.
Henchmen from.
And the SMEs.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And they're basically dumping all of their information that they know for that particular topic. So, and it's all centered on game development. So there's, one of the talks I attended was about starting up a game developer oriented business and what the nuances of that and sort of the best advice, things that, I wish I would have known this before getting my head into or diving headfirst into these types of things. So it's a lot of useful information for each of these different things, and it runs the gamut between, one of the talks was someone going over C# code. So they'll like literally,
or
they are
training session?
They're going. It's advanced too. It was like advanced level C# programming. So they're going over code on the projector / wall, and
it seems like more than you need more than an afternoon to.
They squeeze it into an hour. I didn't catch that one, but it was on the agenda list. They had it was divided between 3 different rooms, and so it would go to that extreme, and it would also go to the extreme of how to best communicate as sort of a game developer company or group or persona, trying to communicate what you have and line up your ducks in line in order to pitch your product to the consumers, and using social media as the best possible way to take advantage of it, as well as media in order to sort of get your game known, whatever it may be. It's not just video games, it's board games and things like that. Yeah. And there's artist panels that are there, sound engineers.
It's also playground games.
Yeah.
It's also, games like Slide.
He said slide.
Uno, dos, yes. I said east, west.
So that was Boston Fig. I didn't get to do. I did a couple of interviews with a couple of different developers, but it wasn't as overloaded as last year's. It seemed it was definitely more tamed down. I put it out there to reach out to a bunch of developers and only got a few back there willing to show me what they had. And
More like a secretive convention?
What's that?
More like a secretive type setup?
It is, yeah. That's why I don't have any footage to show off of anything, because it is a lot of what I looked at was pre-alpha stuff that they're not ready to publicly display. One game which I'd like to make a special note of is it's made by this industry veteran. It's a small team, and this person worked on Myst. If you're familiar with Myst. And this guy went on from Myst to do games like Command and Conquer, like a bunch of the Command and Conquer games and a bunch of other games. So like really seasoned veteran. And it was his next game. It's using Unreal Engine 4. It's tackling a thing that's interesting and that hasn't really been tackled before. Sort of like a commentary on a slice of life, like an aspect, almost like a slightly taboo thing that you don't really talk about.
He made a porno game. Just come on and say it.
It's not a porno. It's not a porno.
Sure, I'm hearing porno.
Lisa Shoot Larry Part 5.
But it's interesting. And
somewhere between Catherine meets Debbie Does.
Sure.
Hey, you saw these games.
So that's something that's something I'll definitely bring up again in the future when it's ready to be more sort of presentable to the public. But yeah, there was some games, as I said, I looked at. A lot of games that I didn't get to look at that I know were there. It's just I never had the opportunity, and no one sort of came up to me or anything like that. But overall, I mean, it was a very good, interesting, just like last year. It's just a matter of this is not something that the general public needs to concern themselves about attending.
No,
but
it makes sense. We get the inside track, and you can give people a hint as to what they might be seeing.
Well, if you are interested in getting involved with game development, this would be like a very good, because they do have sort of panels, talks that are geared towards the entry level, sort of where do I begin if I want to get involved in game development of any sort, and they have that there as well. So for those who are interested and want to get into it from a hobbyist standpoint, or from, how do I get a job in the industry standpoint, they kind of have you covered there.
Cool. All right, so how can folks follow up on this? Is it just
Yeah, Boston Festival of Indie Games. They will list the Boston Fig. They also have another. They have two events that run every year. There's this one, which is the more developer focused one, the more private one, and then they have the public one, which comes up in September, which is the big one, the B-Fig.
It's the big one, the main event. Yeah. Sunday. All right. The B-Fig talks. Johnny, thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, and if you haven't gotten sick of that sexy voice by now, I'm actually going to kick it right back to you. You got to play Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King. Is that correct?
Yeah, Blossom Tales for the Sleeping King.